Mr. Eberhart, you are now recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Chairman Lambert and Ranking Member Huffman and members of the subcommittee. Thank you for the opportunity to testify on H.R. 4419, the Bureau of Reclamation and Bureau of Indian Affairs Water Streamlining Act. My name is Urban Eberhart, and I am the Secretary Manager of the Kittitas Reclamation District, an irrigation district serving 60,000 acres of prime farmland in the Yakima River Basin in the vicinity of Ellensburg, Washington. I'm also a farmer in the Yakima River Basin. I was raised on our family farm near Ellensburg and am still growing apples, pears, and hay in the Badger Pocket area of the Kittitas Valley. I'm here today on behalf of the Yakima Basin Working Group in support of this subcommittee's efforts to congressionally authorize the Bureau of Reclamation to continue to partner with the state of Washington and the Working Group in implementing the initial development phase of the Yakima Basin Integrated Plan, Phase 3 of the Yakima River Basin Water Enhancement Project at Reclamation. Over the last 9 years, this unique and diverse collaboration has emerged in the Yakima Basin and is focused on developing a collective vision for the future of water in the watershed, a future where there is water for farming, water for fish, and water for families, even when we have years of less than adequate water supplies. Congressionally authorizing this initial development phase of the integrated plan is the next vital step forward in making that future possible. The Yakima Basin Working Group supports the concepts provided by H.R. 4419 to authorize the initial development phase of the integrated plan. The working group is tremendously grateful to Representative Dan Newhouse and Representative Dave Reichert for their tireless work in supporting the Yakima Basin Integrated Plan and for introducing this legislation. They understood how important the integrated plan is in the Yakima River Basin, the state of Washington, and the Yakima Nation. Through the efforts of the working group, we have seen substantial progress in meeting the plan's goals through partnerships and cooperation when in the past we were in conflict. We are encouraged by the fact that both Democratic and Republican administrations have supported this collaboration and have looked to the integrated plan and our diverse coalition as a potential model for future water management in the West. The Yakima River Basin is one of the most productive, concentrated, irrigated agricultural areas in the nation, producing more than $4.5 billion in crops and food processing sales and supporting more than 44,000 jobs annually. The Yakima River Basin is also home to significant fish and wildlife resources, including anadromous steelhead and salmon runs. These fish runs are part of the important recreational and tribal resources in our basin. The Yakima Nation has relied on these fish and wildlife resources for generations. These ancient fish runs have been in decline during the mid-20th centuries and were a focus of contention over water supplies and water management in the basin for many years. Recent efforts to improve fish habitat through significant investments in water conservation, improved water management, water marketing, habitat restoration, and fish passage have seen some success. In fact, Reclamation estimates that on average, approximately 130,000 acre-feet per year has been conserved since the 1990s. But additional new investments in water conservation, water storage, and fish passage are still needed, which the integrated plan supports. Frequent droughts over the past several decades have demonstrated the vulnerability of the Yakima Basin's water supply. Since 1992, there have been 6 low water years where proratable irrigation districts, those subject to curtailment in dry years, received far less than their full allocation of water. During these droughts, the proratable irrigation districts served by Reclamation only receive between 37% and 47% of their usual water supply. The integrated plan will add an additional 170,000 acre-feet of water conservation savings through federal, state, and local partnerships. The proratable irrigation districts in the Yakima Basin are planning to finance, build, and operate the first major water supply project in the integrated plan themselves, estimated to cost about $200 million. The state of Washington has approved bipartisan legislation to provide up to 50% of the cost to implement the integrated plan. The state has made major investments in the integrated plan, totaling $173.3 million since 2013. As you can see, the integrated plan leverages federal, state, and local partnerships and funding to accomplish what one single stakeholder could not. In summary, the Yakima Basin Integrated Plan is a balanced approach agreed upon by an incredibly diverse coalition of farmers, environmental and outdoor groups, local, state, and federal governments, and the Yakima Nation. It is designed to sustainably meet the needs of water users and abundant salmon and steelhead runs, improve habitat for fish and wildlife, and allow our communities to grow. We look forward to continuing to work with you and Representative Newhouse and Reichert on this legislation. We believe it is essential that we come together and craft an approach that can pass Congress and be acted into law. Thank you.